Good morning and welcome to Behind the Screen. I am Jam. This is a show where we talk about gaming, board games, card games, primarily role-playing games, focused on the good, the true, the beautiful, and the things that inspire us to become better game masters, better players, better designers, and hopefully better humans. So, good morning to Jason and to DM James. By the way, I'm going to say this now, and I'll probably say it again at the end. If you are unaware, in about 2 hours, follow that link. You can go and get on the backer kit for Deadlands Dark Ages, which will alert you as soon as the crowdfunding goes live. That goes live today. I've got to see the book. I've got to see the demo adventure. I know kind of behind the scenes. I'm very excited about Deadlands Dark Ages, kind of the start, if you will, of the Reckoner and the Morgana effect. And it goes live today. So, in addition to that, tonight at 9 Eastern, correct me if I'm wrong, DM James, DM James will be on the Pinnacle channels running a Deadlands Dark Ages stream. If you have not checked out Knights of the Smith Dinner Table, I highly, highly recommend them. The production value is great. The jokes are, well, I mean, if you've met DM James, you know how the jokes are. But it always feels like a group of friends that you're just getting to sit at the table with and listen to, which I adore. They ran their Reign of Winter game last night. That's actually, I think, how James and I started talking a lot, because I'm a huge fan of the Reign of Winter adventure path from back in the day from Paizo. And yes, DM James will be running that tonight. So go check it out. Morning, John Doom. Morning, Padre. So this is... We titled this episode, There Are Other Worlds Than These. I was going to wear my Gunslinger t-shirt today, but sadly it is at the bottom of a pile of dirty laundry that includes the socks of a teenage boy. So that pile's probably just going to get burnt. So instead I wore my Bridge Burners t-shirt, because if you have been here for any length of time, you know how I feel about the Malazan Books of the Fallen and the fact that they are about compassion. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to everybody today about. I wanted to start something. I have been on social media all weekend. I was recovering from a seizure event. Spent a lot of time on social media, just looking for things to kind of help me get through. And man, there is a lot of darkness and rage out there on the internet. I think one of the things that I need to remember is that, first of all, I always have to take a step back and subscribe. I subscribe to the iceberg theory of the internet, which is basically saying the majority of people commenting on the internet are just kind of the top 10% of people. Most people are actually out living their lives, engaging in the moment, and not screaming into the void. But it's tough. It's tough because the platforms are designed, and I say this as somebody who is currently streaming on two of them, the platforms are designed to reward engagement. And sadly, we as humans, we love negative engagement. Things that enrage us, that cause controversy, things that bait us into interacting, produces the responses that the platforms want them to produce. Now, I could go into a lot of psychology and neuroscience and talk about what happens to our brains. That's not what I want to talk about. So I was left with sort of three options after really looking at stuff. Praetorian Panzer! Always good to see you. Good morning to Tink as well. I'm with you, James. I feel like that is a benefit of social media. But we got to always remember, right, we are the media platform is not the product. We are the product of the media platform. So I was left with three options. Just quit all social media completely, including some forums and Discord servers that I belong to, because There's a lot of anger and vitriol there. Engage with it and drag myself down, or do what I usually do, which is fight back in some way. Because I think the thing that bothered me the most as I was trying to understand why this was bothering me is how easy it is, even in gaming, and I'm putting gaming as the lowest bar of things we talk about on the internet, how easy it is online, whether you are on a platform, in a private forum, on a Discord subchannel, how incredibly easy it is to strip the humanity of the people you are talking to or talking about. I play a lot of Marvel Rivals. If any of you want to join me, reach out, let me know. I'll share my online handle. How easy is it in online games to forget you are talking to a human being? To take the coward's way out and talk to them in a way that you would never have the stones or ovaries to talk to them if you were sitting face to face in front of them. So, as is often my case, I will always choose the side of beauty, and so I want to start something new on the Iconic Discord forum and on the Behind the Screen, and I'm going to not just say I'm going to do it, but I'm going to put some backing behind it, and I'll explain that in a second. Before we jump in any further, I do want to say I am getting to chat with, we're going to do another Beyond the Table next week. I'm going to get to talk with Alexander McCrease again. This time, not about Axe, which is usually why I have him on the show, because, man, do I love that game. We're going to be talking about Ascendant, because Ascendant is one of the games that I'm studying in my attempts to put together my Superhero West Marches campaign to launch on the Iconic Discord server in 2026. Anyway, looking forward to that discussion. Really want to pick his brain about Ascendant, because it might be the perfect simulationist game. I'm like 90% sure that's the case. So, why did we title this Other Worlds Than These? Well, if you have read The Gunslinger and are familiar with The Dark Tower, it is one of the most famous lines from The Gunslinger after the gunslinger fled, or the man in black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed. The gunslinger, obsessed with his quest, addicted to his quest to the point of dehumanizing everyone he comes in contact with, meets the boy Jake. And learns to have compassion again. And then when confronted in the moment of abandoning his obsession and his rage, lets Jake fall. And Jake famously says, "Go then, there are other worlds than these," which sort of sets up not just the gunslinger, but like a tachyon burst going backwards and then an anti-tachyon burst going forward. From that moment, everything in all of King's worlds eventually connect to the Dark Tower arc. So, know then that there are other worlds than these that we engage with. And yes, it's a play on the fact that when we play in role-playing games, we are playing in other worlds. So there's twofold things that I'm going to be working on. The first is I want to start doing a segment on Behind the Screen once every other week or so called Signal Boost. In Signal Boost, I am going to show off other YouTube channels, X people, or people on X, not X people, that would fall into dehumanizing them, but places on social media that I have discovered to be full of joy and inspiration and worthy of following, because they add to the world as opposed to subtract from it. And that's one of the things that I want to talk about, is that most often social media convinces us to engage by subtracting things from our worlds. It is a very negative worldview in every way, shape, and form that I mean, the word negative. It removes from us. It removes us from other people. It removes things from other people and constantly contracts our world to our own personal bubble. It's not the way we were supposed to be. It's not the way we were supposed to be. So, signal boost. First thing, you're going to see things like the joy of wargaming. You're going to see things like there's a great little Tom's Tabletop Gaming that I'm going to do little shout outs for, little signal boosts for. The other thing is, as has been pointed out here, I have my own server. And while we talk about fun things, I have never been super purposeful about creating engagement and topics. And I'm going to change that. My goal is to put out a prompt every other day for us to talk about, for us to engage with. Maybe it'll be a design the monster prompt. Maybe it will be a what's your favorite gaming memory? Things like that. Things that if you want to, you can take a second, step away from the world and share some of your own personal joy. And then at the end of the cycle, whether it's every 2 weeks or once a month, we'll go and talk to go and see who engaged with the prompts. Again, this is no pressure. But if you engage with the prompts of that month, I will create a little piece of randomizing software and I will send one person who engaged with the prompts something from my gaming show. And again, we're going to start off with it being like every 2 weeks. Because I want to put something positive back out into the space. I feel like this is a good way to do it. And I want to commit to sharing something of mine with you beyond just the prompts, because then it's real to me. So that's the plan. Signal boosting and some joy sharing prompts. I hope that you will engage with this. Knights at the Smith dinner table is definitely going to be one of the signal boosts that I call out, because by God, James, I love you guys, and I love the way you run games, and I love the way that you present games. I'm so glad that we've got Altered Morality, and I can't wait for the Dark Ages one-shot tonight. Again, it goes live in, I want to say, under 2 hours, like 1 hour and 45. So about noon Central is when Deadlands Dark Ages is going to go out. And, oh man, if you have not looked at this, there are some really fun things that Pinnacle has never done before. I got to see some of the components yesterday at a meeting, and I have to say, Simon's angelic as he showed off some of them was perfect. So, let's jump back in here real quick. John Doom says, do you have to read all of King before you can Dark Tower? No. There are really 3 ways that King fans say it. They say, no, just jump into the Dark Tower and read the Dark Tower. That's where I would say, just read the Dark Tower. If you want some context around it, I can recommend some other books or movies you may want to watch before engaging. For example, Pennywise's brother shows up at some point. So if you've read it, that makes a lot of sense. Randall Flagg shows up. So if you read Eyes of the Dragon or The Stand, now you have a little bit more context. But I think King did a great job of laying out Gunslinger to Dark Tower, no additional information necessary. Then there are those who say you have to read everything in order, chronologically, as it came out. And those people are much more hardcore about the Dark Tower than I am. More power to them, but no, I have not done that. But I would say, at the very least, read the Gunslinger. Gunslinger and Drawing of the Three set up the world. If you like the Gunslinger and hate Drawing of the Three like I did, read the Wastelands and see if that draws you back in. If you're a little off on the gunslinger but love drawing of the three, continue on. And then, I mean, my other thing is right around book 4, he introduces Arthur, and like many authors, once you introduce Arthur, it really becomes an Arthur story from then on out. King Arthur, not Arthur the weird Aardvark cartoon thing. So yeah, that's it. Long and the short of it. Oh, only 45 minutes. The backer kit countdown is wrong. Wrong, I say. It says an hour and 45. So in 45 minutes, this will go live. Also, like, I mean, I can list off a ton of things. Fairy Tale ties in. Hearts in Atlantis. Everything's Eventual. Eyes of the Dragon. Insomnia. Insomnia is actually a major one that I was unexpected. Did you get off the crazy train with the crazy train, Jason? Which is actually a thing. Charlie the Choo Choo, the children's book, is also connected to it. So we'll see. Sometime in the next 45 to an hour and 45 minutes, the Deadlands Dark Ages will go live. So that's it. This is just sort of an announcement of I am tired of looking at the despair on the internet. If you've been around the channel long enough, you've heard me use the term staring at the Medusa. There are a lot of Medusas, and in a lot of ways, we are encouraged to become Medusas to those people around us, to share our despair and our anger and our outrage. And there are things to be outraged about. There are things to be angry about. But I always want to focus on the positive. I always want to share something good. And I mean, that's what I'm inviting you. I want to invite people to find the good parts of the internet, to become the good parts of the internet, to join the good and the joyful, the truthful, the beautiful parts of the internet. So yeah, John Doom Tink actually recognized me, or recommended Dungeon Crawl Carl to me when I went out to Colorado for 4th of July. Liz and Brad recommended them to me. And that's when I was like, well, hey, if I'm going to read it, you guys should try it out. And now we're all on the inevitable ruin, I believe. And the next book comes out soon. So, that's it. You can catch me on Thursday. I will be releasing a new video on the Palladium Books channel. We have another interview with Kevin, and at 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, I will be interviewing Brandon of Star Anvil Studios about the new Secret World stuff. We'll be back on Thursday with more discussions about beauty and gaming, joy, and yeah, I'm also going to try and get more Beyond the Table people on, because you know what, gosh darn it, those bring me joy. So that's it. Until next time, I hope you all stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. Tune in tonight for DM James's Deadlands Dark Ages one-shot. And I will see you all on Thursday. Until then, everybody, have a good one.